All right, so this is a lesson on reviewing graphing. All right, this lesson is a review for graphing quadratic functions. Question number 1 says the standard form of a quadratic function is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to take that from our word bank, so we'll cross that out. Question number 2, the shape of a quadratic equation is called a parabola. Remember we discussed in class that the graph makes a U shape or a parabola. If you look at question number 3, it actually just is pointing to this red dashed line. And we know that that red dashed line where it splits the parabola directly in half. And when you fold it over, this pieces match up together perfectly. That's called the axis of symmetry. And then we have this number 4. We have this arrow pointing right here to that point. And that is our vertex. All right, let's slide up a little bit. Okay. When the vertex is at the highest point on the graph, we call that, the highest point is called the maximum. And when the vertex is at the lowest point on the graph, we call that a minimum. And then our solutions are the x-intercepts. The solutions to our graphs are where the parabola crosses the x-axis, also known as the x-intercepts. But solutions to quadratic equations are called the roots. Now we are going to determine whether the quadratic function has 2 real roots, 1 real root, or no real roots. If possible, we're going to list the zeros of the function. Now remember that the zeros, or the roots of a function, or the solutions, are where the parabola crosses the x-axis. So when we look at this first graph, number 9, when we look at this parabola, we see that right there, the vertex is on the x-axis, so it has 1 root, and the zeros of this, or the place where this crosses the x-axis, is when y equals 0, and y equals 0 when x is 1, 2, 3. Okay? When I look at the second graph, the second parabola, I see that it doesn't cross the x-axis at all. So this has no roots at all. When I look at the third one, number 11, I see that this graph crosses the x-axis here and here. So it has 2 roots, and they are -2 and 0. All right, for this slide, we're looking at the parabola to the right, and it says, given the graph, identify the following. The axis of symmetry. Well, I know that the axis of symmetry is right here. And so that is the equation x equals 3. I know that the vertex is at the ordered pair 3, -2. I'll go ahead and dot that in so you can see it possibly. There's our vertex right there. Okay. How many zeros? Well, there are 2. This crosses the x-axis at 2 places. The zeros are 2 and 4. The domain, what is the values of x that will make this true? All real numbers. The range, what is the range of the y value? Y is greater than or equal to -2.